Hello, Facebook. We are now live. This is my favorite part of the week. This is when I get to connect in with you guys. Weekly Q&A, live Q&A. I've got a few questions in backlog that I'd love to answer, but as you guys come in and join in, please ask any questions that pop up for you, that come up for you. And just before I dive in deep, I want to remind you all that on Monday, today's Friday, so we have 1, 2, 3 days. Oh my God, tea. I love tea. Hang on. On Monday, on Monday, we have the Self-Pleasure Challenge coming up. So this is amazing. It is a 7-day self-pleasure challenge. What you win is over $3,000 in prizes. It's amazing, and it's always a big hit. I haven't done it in a year because it's such a big hit, and so we're doing it again. If you want to join, go to the link in my bio on Instagram or on Facebook. I'll post the link in this thread as soon as I end, but it's basically essentialreclamation.com/self pleasure challenge, all lowercase, and you can come in. You can also just request to join the Pleasure Tribe, same thing. That will also let you in. That's a Facebook group. It is completely free, all genders, and it's all about getting back in touch with your pleasure so that you can transform your life in finances, in business, in love, in freedom, in sexuality, in liberation, right? This is a tool. I'm going to be teaching you very hands-on tools every day that will bring your nervous system to a place of mass abundance and connection to truth. So pretty amazing. We have 355 people already signed up. I'm hoping to get to 444 by next week just because that number is really sexy. So please join in there if you can. And now I would like to answer questions. So Instagram or Facebook, I'm on both of you right now. So you can type in any questions that you have on money, sex, God, anything coming up for you. I'm here for the next 20 minutes to be here with you and answer questions, and then I'm going to run for a client. So I will gonna get the question that was backlogged. This is from Jameson, and this was in response to a post that I made where I was talking about how everything can be sex and everything can be pleasure, and I can transform everything into orgasm. So basically just living in a constant state of pleasure and bliss. And his question said, what about the old saying, too much of a good thing? I think they should be often, intense, and multiple. But if it was every day, I feel like it would become more of an addiction than a release. Chasing that explosion of dopamine they came with when they were more of a treat compared to being more of a routine. I feel like multiple amazing orgasms should be something to look forward to rather than something to get out of the way, like getting your first cup of coffee down so you can enjoy the second slowly. Okay, so there's a lot in here, Jameson, and I'm going to do my best to answer your question. Okay, so the orgasm that you're speaking of, this intense release, is not what I'm speaking of. So we're kind of talking about two different things. The intense release is a very male-structured, societally structured way of experiencing pleasure because our society keeps pleasure hidden in a box, locked away, right? So it keeps it like as this taboo thing. And so when we have pleasure, we very quickly release it, right? Because it's like this thing that we can't ever really get, like it's like, we're chasing it, right? And we do the chasing and the chasing and the chasing, and then we get it, and then it's gone, and then we go back to chasing again, right? This is how most people operate around pleasure and sexuality, and it's how most people experience orgasm, right? The chasing of it, the seeking of it. And I understand that there's a thrill in the chase. I totally get that. It's super hot, right? It's super hot. What if, I want to just redefine your definition here a little bit. What if rather than an orgasm being a release, it was a nourishment? What if the release was actually part of just how you lived your life? So what if you could live your life in such a way that there's no seeking of anything, that you don't have to get your first cup of coffee down. Right? That when you drink your tea or drink your coffee, you can do it slowly, in pleasure, in bliss. Oh. So that every moment, like I just felt that reverberate through my whole body. So that every moment, every single waking present moment, the present moment is the orgasm. The present moment, being fully in your body, in your experience, not thinking about how to get the next thing, becomes the orgasm. And then what happens is when we live from that place, which is a very relaxed place of being, it's not a conditioned response, it's a very unconditioned, uninhibited way of living, primal way of living. When we live from that place and we're presented with the opportunity to engage in intercourse, we don't have to chase it. We can let it be there. So, and that's, I mean, especially because you're a man asking this question, man and a woman, actually, who is operating from a place of not needing sex, right, is one of the sexiest things. Like they're already fully fed and then they get to choose to engage there. They don't have to because they're already living in pleasure. They're already relaxed. They're already living fully fed and nourished in their body. And I just want to make a distinction here that release is also great, but only if it feeds you. So there's different blueprints, right? And the energetic blueprint, for example, too many orgasms, not energetic orgasms, but like typical, outward orgasms will deplete an energetic. Their adrenal glands will start to go. Too many orgasms for a sensual, they'll also be depleted. Orgasms for a sexual will nourish them, right? Orgasms for a kinky will probably be a depletion unless there's like a kinky thrill underneath of it. And orgasms for a shapeshifter, it depends on what mood they're in. So I don't want to naysay the orgasm that releases outward, but what I do want to just insert here is the possibility and the opportunity for us to play in what if we're not seeking pleasure, and what if we just become pleasure? What if we're not seeking orgasm and we just become orgasm? What if we're not seeking relaxation and nourishment and we are that? And that's our responsibility. And then what the beautiful thing that happens is when we get that full in our body, we no longer need anyone else to fill that. So there's a level of sovereignty here. And then when someone is near us or around us, or we're feeling a connection or chemistry with someone else, we can come from this nourished, aligned place. So we're not using people. Sex is no longer about using people. Yes, we can still be greedy, as I think there's a certain level in our society where we don't allow for greed. And I think greedy, and it's actually beautiful. It's part of owning our divinity. I know that a lot of people will be like, what? But I think there's a certain level of hot sex that's greedy, right? Like sexuality, when you're engaging with another person, there's a certain level of following your own desire, right? And we can come from a place of nourishment and not using them. So to answer your question short, Jameson, what if you can operate from the world in which you are already whole and complete? Right? You don't need anything. You don't need the cup of coffee. You don't need the sex, the orgasm, because it already is within you. The energy that you need is already inside of you. The pleasure that you need is already inside of you. The relaxation that you need is already in your skin and bones. You have that deep within you. And so in that, there isn't an overabundance of it, because it just simply is. It simply is you, right? And that's it. And you don't have to do anything with it. You can just kind of be in it, which is what I do. Okay, any other questions? I've got about 10 minutes left. So You can ask any questions. Oh, I got a funny question on Instagram I'll answer. Someone asked me, and while I'm answering this, please type in your questions that come up. Someone asked me what kind of pizza topping is my favorite. So I'm gluten-free and vegan. So it will be a gluten-free pizza, which I don't eat very often because those are usually like manufactured shit. I take really good care of my vehicle because my libido is going to be higher the better I eat, right? And the things that I eat. And for me, high libido means high life force, means high bliss, high ecstasy, high pleasure, happier, right? More embodied. So the things I eat are really important to me. What I put in my body is really important to me. So gluten-free pizza I'll do every once in a while, maybe like once every couple months. And then of course it would need dairy-free cheese on it, right? Because dairy and gluten are both pretty bad for libido. They lower it a lot because that stuff gets stuck in the digestive tract. And then it, of course, because your digestive tract is right next to your genitals, it's going to affect, right, that space. So I avoid those two things. I just don't eat meat because I just don't want to, but like meat's fine. For libido, you can totally have meat. And then when I put toppings on my pizza, I really like to savor things like olives. I like olives a lot. I basically have a three-part diet of like olives, avocados, and mangoes. That's like all I eat. So it's funny because everyone who's lived with me, like all of my exes or whatever, or friends, even them spent time with me, they're like, yeah, Genevieve basically eats avocados, mangoes, and olives because they're just so juicy and delicious. Oh, someone else asked me about food. This is fun. I love talking about food. Pizza question made me wonder. This is someone over on Instagram. What's your favorite meal that makes you feel sexy? Sushi. Yeah, I'm vegan except for sushi. I'm not really someone who lives very like straight in like my boxes, so I'm vegan and then my body craves sushi like once every few months. I go and I eat it and it feels really yummy in my body. I love salmon, like the raw salmon on the rice with a little bit of soy sauce. Like, so good. What else makes me feel sexy? Avocados, grapes. Grapes are they're so erotic for me. Like, grapes are so erotic. Are you kidding? Just eating them the way it feels, right? Avocado, when it's like really ripe and you open it and it's green, like, oh. Yeah, those are it really. Grapes and avocados are like my two favorite like produce things, I would say. Those are both really sexy to me. Grapes, I'll eat pounds of them. Like, I'm obsessed with both of those two items. And mangoes, because mangoes are delicious. Okay, these are funny questions. Does anyone have any other questions? You can keep asking me about food if you want. I don't eat much, funny enough, because I have such a full erotic energy that I don't need food often because my energy just kind of moves through me. I always say the number one diet is just like ignite your pleasure and passion, and then you'll be like, which is what happens. Like, my energy moves through me; it doesn't get stuck, right? So I don't need to worry about like weight loss or anything like that. Yeah, on Instagram, frozen grapes are supposed to be good. One of my lovers always tells me that, so I think I'm gonna have to freeze some for her next week. I've heard. More questions. You can ask me anything. This is your time. I'm really open to receiving whatever questions are coming up. This could be like challenges that you're having in your sex life, with polarity play, with relationship, with love, with pain. Hey, Tim. Anyone else? Just gonna sit here and devour my tea while I wait. I've got about 5-6 minutes left. Just want to remind everyone also, the Self-Pleasure Challenge starts on Monday. We have 355 people in there that are ready to reclaim their pleasure, which makes me really fucking excited because I said it before and I'll say it again. Reclaiming our pleasure will 100% eliminate the violence and the pain in the world and the suffering in the world. It is the ticket. And the more people that I see dropping into it, it's like, we're doing it. Like, we're raising the vibration on a really big level. So thank you guys so much that have already taken the courage to join. It's a free challenge. And if you're on the fence about it, I encourage you to jump in. It's totally free. So you've got nothing to lose. Come on in. And it's PG-13 and really delicious. And I'm there with you live. And the bonuses that you'll win are over $3,000 in value. Like, ridiculous if you complete the challenge. Okay. Mel on Instagram, question. Tips on switching from mom mode to erotic goddess mode. How do I dance with these two sides of me? Yeah, I remember struggling in this, so I'm glad that you brought up this question. One thing is a daily self-pleasure practice. That's going to be huge, 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 huge. If you don't already have one, join the Self-Pleasure Challenge. That'll make a huge difference. The other thing is, why not be in erotic goddess mode while you're a mom? Why not show our kids what goddesshood looks like? Why not set that example of freedom for them? So there's a way in which when I'm around my son, I'll close my second chakra, right? I also do this with clients. If clients are moving through trauma, or, I'll close it. And in that aspect, I become mom mode, right? So my erotic energy isn't quite as turned on, but I'm gonna always be turned on. I'm gonna always be turned on to life, right? Like, this morning I walked into school and it was raining and we were jumping in the puddles and I was like, that feels so good. Like, why not? Why not feel that with your kids and feel the turn on, because they already have the love right there. They're already fully embodying it and experiencing it, the pleasure. You can learn from them. So we don't have to turn off our goddesshood. I also, dance with him all the time. I'll take him to dance class and show him how a woman moves, right? I think that's so important. He'll watch me as I enjoy whatever I'm eating slowly, and he'll do the same. So it's, why not make it as much of a switch? Why not simply become, right? It's very radical parenting, but why not become pleasure even around your children, right? Obviously removing some of the erotic energy, but kids understand erotic energy. They have it when it's not clouded in shadow. If it's not unsafe for them, right? It feels unsafe when it's shadowed, when there's like funky like desires that aren't being expressed or suppression. Like, that's when kids can feel weirdness around it. But free, liberated erotic energy for a child feels like play energy. It's the same thing. And when we hit puberty, we transform it, right? We transform the play energy to erotic energy. Well, a lot of us just bottle up our erotic energy, but the idea, energetically speaking, is to change that same part of you that knows how to play on the playground to the part of you that becomes this erotic liberated being. It's the same idea. And so showing them how we play, I think, is pretty important, right? That I can, because eroticism is not just in the bedroom. It's not genitals, right? It's how I move about. It's how I breathe. I'll do breathing techniques with my kids, right? Like, the kids, I have one, my kid. So Mel is saying it doesn't have to be a switch. Yeah, you unschool, awesome. And you allow it to coexist, right? Because what I think parents are afraid of is like, oh God, I don't want to put erotic energy around my kid. It's only creepy when you're not fully reclaimed in your erotic energy. That's when it's creepy. Once your sexual energy is expanded and open and liberated, and you can hold it and bring it clearly, like as just a part of your being, rather than this part of you that's afraid or ashamed, it's not creepy anymore, right? That creepy edge that you feel in like your weird uncle, right? Like we've all got that, right? That's because there's shadow and shame there. And he hasn't fully like expressed and stepped into his full manhood in his sexuality. So if we're full, it's just play. It's just play for them. And it's the same. It's childlike energy is the same energy as sexual energy. It's the exact same thing. So allow it to coexist. There, I learned so much about sex from watching my kid play on the playground, right? He gets it. Yeah. Yeah, Mel says fully embody it. This is landing for me. Thank you for your insights. Yeah. Try it. Play with them. I get up on I'm like up in the playground, like sliding down the slide, and my body feels better when I'm embodied, right? If I cut it off and go into mom mode, I'll feel tired. I feel drained. I'm not parenting well. When I'm embodied in the essence of my being, I know I have that intrinsic knowledge of how to be and where to go and how to show up, and I can tell my son reacts to that better. Yeah, he thinks I'm fun. And that's what we want, right? Fun and nourishing and full and open-hearted, right? That comes from your sexual liberation. That's how we bring it. So join the pleasure challenge. That'll feel amazing for you, Mel, also. All right, any other questions? I gotta go in 3 minutes. I have a client. Orlando, hi, babe. Good to see you. This is live Q&A. I'll take one final question before I jump off. And if no one asks a question in 2 minutes, I'm just gonna go. How do I join? Okay, so go to in my bio, there's a link that will have a sign up for it. You can also just go on to Facebook and go to the Pleasure Tribe on Facebook. And to just search for the Pleasure Tribe and ask to join, that's where we're going to be having it. So you can also do it that way. It's a little less clicking. You don't have to click as much. But yeah, you can also message me if you have trouble joining. Instagram isn't as well set up for it as Facebook. So awesome. Okay, any other questions? If not, I'm going to head on out. Those of you that are not yet joined the Self-Pleasure Challenge, please join. 355 of you already have and counting. It is a mass revolution of pleasure reclamation. It is there to bring you back home to yourself, to your body, to learn about your desire, to learn about the places where you may have shadow, and to accept and love and heal every part of you. We do it together. In a safe container over 7 days. It's PG-13. All parts of you are welcome. The scared, nervous, shy, angry, upset, resistant, they're all welcome there. And it's the first step toward freedom in all areas of your life. So from the deepest essence of my being, I do hope that you'll join. And I also understand that you'll get there when you're ready to get there. So I'll post the link in just a sec. Love you guys so much, and I will see all of you, many of you, Monday morning at 9 a.m. for our live Pleasure Challenge video for the first one. All right. Mwah. Bye, everyone.